So the 2021 Taylormade P790 and the 2022 Cobra Forged Tech, two absolute giants in the players distance category. And in this video, I'm putting them head to head. We're going to be switching up the process in this review today. I'm going to be looking at 5 categories. We're going to have looks, sound, feel, performance, and price. I'm going to be selecting a winner in each category to then come to a decision at the end. So which of these irons is the winner? So first up, I'm just going to touch briefly on looks because ultimately it's very subjective looks. So just going to be looking at actually from the back of the club and then down by the ball as well. So I mean, actually looking at these clubs, they're both obviously very, very nice looking clubs. They're both hollow body construction, so almost got that kind of blade style look, I guess. Obviously bigger than blades, but I mean, just sitting them in the bag, they look very, very nice. I think ultimately for me, I'm going to edge this one to the Cobra Forged Tech. And I've never been a massive fan of the kind of the satin with like the chrome bar running through the P790. I just, yeah, it's a nice looking club, but actually I think Cobra have done a fantastic job with the aesthetics of the new Forged Tech this year. And then looking down behind the ball, I mean, there's not loads there. I mean, the top line on the 790 looks slightly smaller, marginally, but it's actually, I think the 790, it almost looks like a rounded kind of top line to it, whereas the Cobra looks almost like more square, like a bit boxier, kind of the top line. So, I mean, that is close. I really don't mind either, to be completely honest, but actually looking down at it now, I'm going to edge that to the P790. So, back, Forged Tech, top line, 790. So, I think we're going to have to call this one a draw. Right, so let's talk about sound. Obviously, this is going to be very subjective as well, and it's going to be very hard for you guys to obviously hear through the video, but I'll do my best to kind of describe and explain what I'm hearing. And I'm indoors as well, so, you know, got to take it with a pinch of salt, this category, but I'll do my very best. I mean, it sounds good. Like it's not too loud. You know, like sounds an interesting one because they're all reasonably muted, I guess, apart from something like the T200, which as soon as you hit it, you know you've hit it. And actually, I've grown to quite like that sound now. But it's much more kind of muted. Again, yeah, it sounds good. I mean, I pulled that one a little bit, but yeah, it's like it's just quite a dull, meaty kind of sound, which, yeah, I actually quite like. Right, so moving into the 790, none of these shots are going to be recorded for the performance test. I'll do that completely separately. Right, let's see if this sounds much different. Oh, it's definitely louder. Like it's definitely cracks off the face a little bit more. That is a very dull, muted kind of sound, that. Again, pulled it a little bit, but yeah, that's louder. Yeah, I mean, it's I'm using the Chrome Soft X, which is quite a firm ball anyway, but it's a good shot. Yeah, it's just a little bit crackier, a little bit higher pitch, a little bit louder. It's actually now hitting them back to back. That, for me, makes it a little bit easier. I'm going to give it to the Cobra. So that also ties into feel as well. Still P790 in the hand. I mean, it does really feel like it flies off the face, and I think that sound definitely has something to do with it. It's a little bit louder, a little bit crackier, really poppy. But again, it feels, maybe because of that sound, it may be linked, but to me it feels a bit harder, which, yeah, again, it's going to be subjective, but let's have one more hit with the 790. Yeah, it's definitely harder. I mean, it's still both decent shots. I'll take those any day of the week, but louder and firmer off the face. Let's just have a quick hit with the Cobra. Back into Cobra. I mean, yeah, they are very linked, those two, aren't they, to be honest? Yeah, it's softer. It's actually a bit pushy, that one, unlike me, but yeah, definitely softer. Sounds a bit more muted, so sound and feel for me, I think is gonna have to go Forge Tech. So next up is performance, and obviously we're gonna be hitting shots on quad. I'm gonna get 10 good, well-struck, straight shots with each. I will touch on miss hits as I go through, because I'm sure we'll get a couple. So kind of a little bit on forgiveness as well. And yeah, let's actually put these to the test. So 1 degree difference between the two heads. P790 is 30.5 and the Forge Tech is 29.5. So it's only 1 degree. It's very marginal, but the Cobra is a little bit stronger, so that's something to bear in mind. Start off with a nice little pull. Well, I'll certainly take it. Oh, come off that bank, you beauty. Yep. A little thin, but 17 and 6,000. It's actually not terrible numbers, you know. But same as always, I'll show you 4 or 5 with each, and then we'll dive into the numbers. That felt good. Go in the hole, kick right. Certainly don't mind that one at all. Yep, 18 mil low. I mean, I do have the dots high up the face, but yeah, definitely thinning them just a tiny bit, but it's efficiency, 137, I'll take that. Shaft in both of them exactly the same. It's KBS S-Taper Light Stiff, just in case you want to know, but they're exactly the same shaft, so just the heads. Nice. Yep. Pretty much the same. Don't think I'm going to need to hit too many with this. That felt nice. That felt nice. Yep. I will say one thing, they are very easy to hit. And that probably sounds quite stupid, to be fair, but I don't know, like, it just easy, like, just. Yes. They're just, yeah, just good, aren't they? I mean, can certainly see why these have been put in so many people's bags. They are just, they're just good. So that was a little bit of a miss hit, to be fair. I mean, it's a great miss hit. Just thin, like it just tends to be a little bit of my miss today for some reason. Just catching them a little bit thin. I mean, that didn't feel that great, to be honest. Like, I know it's showing pretty central, but just very, very low. It didn't feel great, but I mean, 190 carry, it's done pretty much the same as everything else. So, I mean, I haven't massively missed any of these apart from the one that I literally like flat topped, which is in the water. But you can't really factor in forgiveness for that. But I mean, I've done a lot of fittings with these irons. I've hit them quite a lot myself. From a forgiveness standpoint, they are they're right up there. Well, this is shot 16. I'm actually going to make this my last one because pretty much all of those were pretty good, apart from there's one really bad one in there. But I mean, apart from that, there's like, it's actually unreal how close they all are to the flag. So this is going to be my last shot, and then we'll move on to the Cobra. Again, even that, like that was actually a good one to end on because that was a miss hit, 100%. I mean, are you really going to grumble at that? It's just thin. Like, again, definitely hit quite a few of these thin, but the launch conditions retained really well. It's one thing that I remember from when I did the initial testing on this head. The miss hits, the launch and spin, and ball speed, really, it retained so well. So I do think this honestly is like, it's a phenomenal club. Right, great set with the 790. Now we're going to be moving into the forged tech. Going to do the same thing, get plenty of good, decent shots, see if we can get a couple of miss hits, see what the forgiveness is like, and then put the good shots head to head to see how these things perform. Oh, it just feels good. Just like, yeah, feels good. And again, take that every single day of the week. Just, yeah, I mean, that was right where we want to hit it. About 10, 11 mil low, just because of where we've got the dots on the face, obviously. Numbers are actually really, really solid. Oh man, this thing is just good too. Good in the hole. Yeah, I mean, that is pretty darn good. I think this is going to be pretty tight. Literally dunk, dunk. Oh, whew. Oh. One day. Again, that's like 3 in a row. Strikes, really good, consistent. Launch conditions are really good, consistent. Outcome is really good, consistent. These things actually make me look good. Go on, go on. I mean, yeah, like, oh. I said the P790 was easy to hit. This is, yeah, also very easy to hit. I'm just going to show you this dispersion up here. This is just ridiculous. So obviously the blue is the Cobra, red's the P790. I've hit 7 shots with the Cobra so far, and they've all literally just been right around the pin. Like, it's just ridiculous. Oh, that's, what? That, what? It's going to go in the hole again. That didn't feel that good. Felt like I pulled it. Slightly in out, slightly closed. Should have probably stayed a little more left than that. Strike was still good. It's interesting, that felt like it was going left on me all day long, and same result again. Oh, that would be an interesting one, because that was a complete miss hit. Again, it's actually like, I mean, yeah, for that strike, again, it probably doesn't look as bad as it felt on there, but it felt like really like low heel that. So obviously we see we did get a drop off. I mean, it's still, is that 179 carry compared to most of the good ones, which was somewhere around 190, low 190. So we did get a 10-yard drop off, but actually the ball flight's still decent, still on the green. I mean, yeah, I wouldn't grumble at that from that strike. I'd be more than happy with that result. Could be a good one to finish on. Get in the hole. Go on. Oh. Just need that flag a little bit further away. So that 190 carry. 191, yeah. Yep, good strike, good numbers. What are we on? Shot 30. All right, I'll hit a couple more. Right, last one with the forged tech. And then let's look at some data. Nice little draw, stop drawing. It's gone quite far. That's gone absolutely miles. I did that quite well, to be fair. 134 ball speed. That's not bad for a little 7-iron. Right, good sets with both. Let's look at this data and let's see who wins on performance. Okay, so it's time to dive into these numbers and decide who wins on performance. So you can already probably see behind me, this is the ball data page. I mean, they're both phenomenal. Honestly, they're both unreal. They both perform so well. So if we dive into it, we've got P790 at the top, Forge Tech on the bottom. Ball speed, Forge Tech pips it by basically a mile an hour, but again, there's more than enough variance within myself to create something as different as a mile an hour, as little as a mile an hour. And it's the same story with the launch, really. 17 Forge Tech, 18 P790. So we saw the 790 launch that little bit higher. Again, there is a 1 degree difference between these two heads, so I would expect there to be somewhere around ½ degree-ish of launch difference between them because of the loft difference. And again, so therefore, there's only ½ degree difference of what I would expect. Again, I'm more than enough variation in my golf swing to do that. And again, I did delete, there was a couple of bad ones with both, which I did delete, so you can see actually the average dispersion is just pretty much bang on the money for both. So, spin, again, it's literally identical, isn't it, pretty much, which they're good numbers though. 17, 18 launch, 6,000 spin. I like those numbers. They both spun very well, considering the loft and the head designs. I was using a Chrome Soft X, so that is one of the spinnier balls in the range. But yeah, even then, they're really good numbers. They're not spinning low for me at all, which I like. Carry, bang on 190, both of them. I mean, on that page, there is literally it's just absolutely nothing to pip them apart, really. I mean, you had to say that you got a little bit more ball speed out of the Forge Tech, but again, that could have just been me. From a club delivery perspective, efficiency, again, got a little bit more out of the Forge Tech, as we saw on the ball speed. Club speed, yeah, it's ½ a mile an hour in it. Again, me. Dynamic loft, there's exactly, well, not exactly, but there's basically 1 degree in it, which is 1 degree stronger, so it's exactly what we'd expect to see. And then in terms of the actual club delivery, attack the same, path the same, face within ½ a degree, average strike the same. Delivered them basically almost identically on average. Only difference is obviously the dynamic loft being 1 degree because one is 1 degree stronger than the other. So again, not much there. I don't really need to do this, but peak height and angle of descent, because we saw the ball flights were pretty similar. But this here is the average of the P790. Peak 120, descent 49.4. And then right down at the bottom here, this is the average of the Forge Tech. So we've got 116 and 48.8. Again, there's only 4 feet in it. So it's, from a ball flight perspective, I mean, they're just so similar, aren't they? So then the last category is price. And if you're talking stock shafts, stock grips, ordered from the manufacturer, 7 irons of the P790 is $1,099 and 7 irons for the Forge Techs are $999. So that's £100 less. So that's a clear win for Cobra. So yeah, I mean, to sum up, what do we do? Looks was kind of a draw. If I had to edge it towards one of them, I'd probably go Cobra, just because I think, like, aesthetically, looking at the back, it's just a nicer look. It's very clean, modern. I like that. So if I had to choose, I'd go Cobra. Sound and feel, which again, we are saying are very linked, to be fair. I was edging to Cobra as well. Performance, I mean, as you saw, I mean, you can make up your own mind on that one, really. I think that's quite harsh to pip one either way, with the Forge Tech being very marginally stronger in loft. It's just, there really is nothing in it. So I'm going to call that one a tie. And then price, Cobra. So, I mean, to be honest, that's pretty unreal when you think about it, considering the P790 is has been one of the best players' distance irons for ages, and it still is. Like, it's unreal. I mean, in terms of like the forgiveness and retention and stuff, I would maybe edge that one to the P790 because that does such a good job on that. But again, it is quite marginal. The Forge Tech is a really good, easy to hit, forgiving iron. I mean, it's almost a bit of a whitewash, but the reality is it's a bit closer than that, but they're both absolutely phenomenal irons. So yeah, I hope that was kind of a nice, good, fun, interesting video, a bit of a different format. I hope you took enough away from that. If you wanted to know something about these two irons, if you're trying to decide between the two, I hope this helped. But yeah, please like, subscribe, comment, let me know what you thought, let me know what you want to see. We're going to keep the content coming. So yeah, I'll see you in the next one.